There's a strange quiet that follows betrayal, not the shouting kind, but the moment just after, when the mind struggles to comprehend the obvious. That's what I felt as I sat at my kitchen table, holding a thin, white envelope that would change everything. It came on a Wednesday. Midday. I had just returned from a meeting when I saw it in the mail pile. Standard government issue. A photo enforcement notice. At first, I didn't think twice. It wasn't uncommon. New York's traffic cameras love to fine you for even breathing too quickly. I assumed it was a red light camera, maybe a rolling stop. No big deal. But the date on the notice caught my eye. 3 Saturdays ago. She had taken the car that weekend. Just heading out to visit Maya, she'd said, throwing her overnight bag in the back seat. It's her birthday. I won't be back until late Sunday. I remember kissing her goodbye, telling her to drive safe. She smiled, called me overprotective, and sped off with the windows down. I opened the notice. Inside was a printed citation, a small fine for speeding in suburban zone, and, most damning of all, a black and white image captured by a traffic camera. I stared at it. At first, I didn't see what was wrong. The car was mine, a dark gray sedan with tinted windows. The license plate matched. The timestamp confirmed it. And then I saw her, passenger seat, smiling, leaning slightly toward the driver, a man, dark-haired, sunglasses, one hand on the wheel, the other resting on her leg. My heart stopped. My breath caught in my throat. I zoomed in. There was no mistaking her. The scarf she wore was mine, the one I gave her last winter. Her hair was tied back the way she always did when she was relaxed. Her posture was easy, too easy, familiar. And him? I had never seen him before. He was not Maya. He was not a friend. He was not me. I sat there for a long time, staring at the photo. My tea went cold. My hands clenched the edges of the paper until it wrinkled. When she returned that Sunday, I hadn't said anything. She walked in humming, tossed her keys on the counter, gave me a kiss on the cheek. "I'm exhausted," she said. Maya threw a wild party. I nodded, said nothing. I watched her move through the apartment like everything was fine. The betrayal didn't feel like fire. It felt like ice. I waited until she was in the shower. Then I opened her phone. She didn't have a passcode. She never needed one. I had never given her a reason to hide. But she had hidden plenty. The texts were there. A whole thread to someone saved as D. Had the best weekend with you. Can't stop thinking about your hands on me while driving. Same time next month? My stomach churned. The rage didn't come in a single wave. It bled in slowly, like ink in water. I took a photo of the traffic citation. Then I waited. She came out, towel wrapped around her, still humming. "Hey," I said, trying to keep my voice steady. "Got a weird ticket in the mail." She paused. "Yeah." I handed her the paper. She took it, and in that moment, the exact moment she saw the photo, everything changed. Her face drained of color. She didn't even try to lie. She just looked at me, mouth open, hands trembling. I can explain. But she couldn't. The silence after her stammered, I can explain, was suffocating. She clutched the paper in her hand, staring at it like it had caught fire, as though she could blink and make it disappear. I waited. I gave her space to speak. But she didn't. "Who is he?" I asked finally. My voice was calm. Too calm. She looked at me, pale, ashen, a shadow of the woman who had kissed me goodbye 2 weekends ago. "His name is Daniel," she said quietly. "Daniel." I repeated the name like it was a foreign object in my mouth. "We met through Maya," she added quickly, like that would somehow dilute the sting. I sat down, not because I was weak, but because I wanted to feel the ground underneath me, to remember what stable felt like. "Were you with him that whole weekend?" She didn't answer. "Were you?" "Yes," she whispered. I laughed. It was bitter, short, ugly. So Maya's birthday turned into a getaway with a man who isn't me. In my car. She flinched. It wasn't supposed to happen. It just did. It just did. I stood again. "You made a plan. You packed a bag. You used my car. You lied to my face. That's not something that just happens. That's choreography. Tears filled her eyes. But I didn't care. Not right now. Was it the first time? She hesitated. And that was all I needed. I stepped away. Into the hallway. Into the kitchen. Away from the gravity of her betrayal. She followed me. I'm sorry, she said. I never meant to hurt you. But you did. I turned to face her. You chose to. Every message. Every mile in that car. Every time you touched him, you knew what you were doing. She broke then. Full tears. Collapse. But I was dry. Empty. Like the storm had already passed, and all that was left was wreckage. I'll leave, she said. Tonight. I'll pack my things. You'll do whatever the hell you want, I said. Just don't lie to me again. She packed that night. Slowly. I watched her fold clothes into a duffel bag, moving like someone who was trying to remember what real life felt like. When she left, she didn't slam the door. She didn't ask for forgiveness. And I didn't offer it. That night, I sat with a photo again. The one from the ticket. I stared at the still frame, the frozen smile, the man with his hand on her leg. I didn't feel rage. I felt reborn. It's strange what you notice when someone leaves. Not the empty drawers or the silence, but the small things. Her toothbrush still in the holder. One bobby pin on the bathroom counter. A scarf forgotten on the hook by the door. The pieces she didn't mean to leave, or maybe just didn't notice. I didn't touch any of it. Not at first. Instead, I drifted. Through rooms. Through days. I went to work like nothing had changed. Smiled when I needed to. Answered emails. But at home, I was a ghost haunting my own space. I kept expecting her to walk back in and say it was all a mistake, that she made it up, that she dreamed it, but she didn't. She didn't call. She didn't write. The silence was her confession. Aline came over 2 days later. She noticed immediately. What happened? She asked, eyes narrowing at the half-empty apartment. I told her. I showed her the photo. She winced. She was in your car? I nodded. And she let you find out like that? I don't think she expected a camera to catch them, or me to open the ticket. Aline shook her head. Some people destroy, without realizing what they're burning. She stayed for hours that night, brought takeout, said nothing judgmental, just sat with me in the mess. Later, I cleaned. I gathered her forgotten things into a box. I didn't throw them away, just sealed them and put them in the closet. It wasn't closure, but it was motion. Then I deleted her contact, not because I hated her, because I needed space to breathe. A week passed. Then, too, one night, a message appeared. From a number I didn't recognize at first. But I knew the tone. I just want to say I'm sorry again. I miss you. I made a mistake. Can we talk? I didn't answer. I turned off my phone, stepped outside, and walked. The air was cool. The city lit in soft golds and grays. And for the first time in weeks, I looked up instead of down, because the truth had already been spoken. And I didn't need her words anymore. The morning after she left dawn gray and heavy, the city air thick with the damp scent of rain-soaked streets filtering through my open window. The narrator, sat at the kitchen table, the wood cold under my hands, the traffic photo still lying there, a black and white wound. Her toothbrush lingered in the holder, a bobby pin on the counter, the scarf on the hook, silent shards of her absence. The journal I'd started a blank page beside me. Aileen's quiet presence in the night before echoed, and I felt a hollow ache. The neon lights outside a distant hum. The city a witness to my stillness. I sipped cold tea, the bitterness a mirror to my mood, and wrote, the pen scratched a faint pulse, step by step, toward a silence I'd learned to fill. That afternoon, I wanted the apartment. The air stale with her forgotten perfume and the soft creak of floorboards under my feet, the desk a graveyard of her lies. I boxed her things, clothes, books, that scarf, sealing them in the closet, not out of anger but exhaustion, the neon glow seeping through. Aline called, her voice a lifeline, and I told her the message, the unreturned plea, her sigh of comfort. I cleaned, the broom sweep a rhythm, the journal filling with fragments, step by step, toward a silence that held possibility. The next day, I returned to work, the office air buzzing with the scent of coffee and the hum of keyboards, the wooden chair a strange anchor. Colleagues smiled, unaware, and I nodded, the desk a shield, the city lights outside a distraction. At home, I stared at the photo again, his hand on her leg a knife, and wrote, the pen scratch a release, step by step, toward a silence that might heal. That evening, Aline visited, the air warm with the scent of takeout and her steady presence, the living room a new space. We ate, her silent a bomb, and talked about her projects, my numbness, the city's pulse, her with a light. The neon lights twinkled, a promise of support, and I sketched in the journal the lines of victory, step by step, toward a silence I'd shape. The next morning I jogged, the air crisp with the scent of wet asphalt, the city a rhythm of let go. I passed her favorite park, felt no sting, the desk a memory of strength, the neon glow a beacon, the journal filled with plans, art, solitude, a life my own, step by step, toward shards of silence turned to peace. The morning after my jog broke with a tentative light, the city air carrying the faint scent of exhaust and the soft hum of traffic to my open window, a gentle breeze stirring the curtains I'd forgotten to close. I, the narrator, sat at the kitchen table, the wood warm under my palms, its grain a map of years spent together, the traffic photo now tucked away in a box, a relic of her betrayal sealed with a quiet ache. The empty spaces, her chair pushed slightly askew, her side of the bed unmade, the faint imprint of her pillow, echoed with a hollow resonance, the journal open beside me a blank canvas of my scattered thoughts, its pages crisp and untouched. Aileen's words from the night before, "You're stronger than this," lingered in my mind like a soft refrain. I felt a stir of resolve battling the weight of loneliness, the neon lights outside casting a softening glow through the glass, the city a sprawling mirror to my emptiness. I sipped coffee, the bitter warmth of ritual that grounded me, its steam curling upward like the questions I couldn't voice, and wrote, the pen scratch a hesitant heartbeat against the silence, step by step, toward echoes I'd learned to quiet and reshape. That afternoon, I sorted through memories, the air heavy with the lingering scent of her lavender perfume trapped in the cushions and the soft creak of floorboards under my slow steps, each sound a reminder of her presence now gone. I opened drawers she'd left ajar, finding a ticket stub from a movie we'd seen together, a hairpin tangled in a scarf, small relics that stabbed with nostalgia, and placed them in the box with care, not out of anger but a weary need to move forward. The neon glow seeped through the blinds, painting stripes across the room, and I paused, staring at the photo frame on the shelf, us laughing at a park, a lie frozen in time, before setting it face down. Aline called, her voice a lifeline cutting to the fog, and I told her the message, the unreturned plea for reconciliation, her sigh a comfort that steadied my trembling hands. I cleaned, the broom sweep a rhythmic dance against the hardwood, dusting corners she neglected, the journal filling with fragmented thoughts, her smile, his hand, my resolve, step by step, toward a silence that held the promise of something new, a space I could call my own again. The next day, I returned to work, the office air buzzing with the scent of fresh coffee brewing in the break room, and the hum of keyboards clacking like a distant heartbeat, the wooden chair beneath me a strange anchor in a sea of routine. Colleagues smiled, their chatter about weekend plans a stark contrast to my inner stillness, and I nodded, masking the storm within, the desk a shield against their obliviousness, the city lights outside a distraction filtering through the blinds. At home, I retrieved the traffic photo from the box, its black and white clarity and knife, his hand on her leg, her easy smile, and studied it, tracing the lines of her scarf, the tilt of the sunglasses, each detail a wound I needed to face. I wrote, the pen scratch a release against the page, pouring out memories of our early days, her laughter, our trips, the trust now shattered, step by step, toward an emptiness that might one day transform into strength, a canvas for my next chapter. That evening, Aline visited, the air warm with the scent of takeout, spicy noodles and soy sauce, and her steady presence filling the living room with a new energy, the wooden coffee table a gathering point for our shared silence. We ate, her quiet companionship a balm against the raw edges of my grief, and talked about her latest photo shoot, my numbness, the city's relentless pulse, her wit of light that pierced the darkness, her stories of resilience a mirror to my own. The neon lights twinkled through the window, casting a soft glow on the walls, a promise of support that wrapped around me, and I sketched in the journal the lines of tentative victory, mapping out a future where her absence wouldn't define me. We lingered, the clink of chopsticks against bowls of comforting sound, and I felt a shift, the desk of memory of strength, step by step, toward an emptiness that echoed with the possibility of renewal. The next morning I jogged, the air crisp with the scent of wet asphalt and the distant hum of traffic, the city of rhythm a let go that pulsed through my sneakers against the pavement. I passed her favorite park, its benches empty, the pond still, and felt no sting, only a quiet acceptance, the desk of mental refuge, the neon glow of beacon guiding me forward. I pushed harder, the sweat of release, the journal's pages filling with plans, art classes, solo trips, a life untainted by her shadow, each step a defiance against the echo of her leaving. At home, I framed a photo I'd taken of the skyline, its jagged edges a symbol of my resolve, and wrote, the pen's scratch of victory, the clutter a haven, step by step, toward an emptiness that held the seeds of a new beginning, a horizon I'd paint with my own hands. The morning after framing the skyline photo broke with a soft glow, the city air carrying the crisp scent of dawn and the distant hum of waking streets through my open window, the curtains swaying gently in the breeze. The narrator, sat at the kitchen table, the wood warm under my hands, the framed photo now on the shelf a beacon of my resolve, the box of her things a quiet shadow in the closet. The journal lay open beside me, its pages filling with tentative plans, and Aileen's encouragement, "You're finding your way," echoed, stirring a flicker of renewal within me, the neon lights outside casting a faint shimmer, the city a witness to my tentative steps. I sipped coffee, the bitter warmth of ritual that steadied my pulse, and wrote, the pen scratches soft rhythm, step by step, toward frames I'd build anew. That afternoon, I dusted off my old camera, the air in the living room thick with the musty scent of its leather case and the faint click of its shutter as I tested it, the wooden floor creaking under my feet. I hadn't touched it since our last trip, a memory now tainted, but today it felt like a tool of liberation, its weight familiar in my hands. I stepped outside, the city buzzed with the aroma of street food and the chatter of pedestrians, and snapped photos, pigeons on a ledge, a child's laughter, the neon signs flickering in daylight. Each click a release, the desk a mental refuge. Aileen called, her voice bright, and I shared my venture, her excitement a spark, the journal filling with ideas, step by step, toward renewal captured in light. The next day, I met Aileen at a park, the air fresh with the scent of wet grass and the rustle of leaves in the breeze, the wooden bench creaking under us as we sat. She brought her camera, her lens companion to mine, and we shot together. Sunlight on the pond, an old man feeding ducks, her laughter a balm, the city skyline a backdrop. We talked about her projects, my photography, the message from her wit of light, the desk of memory of strength. The neon lights glowed in the distance, a promise of connection, and I wrote in the journal, the pen's scratch of victory, step by step, toward frames that held hope. That evening, I received a call from an unknown number, the air in my apartment shifting with the scent of rain, and the soft from the city outside, the wooden chair cold under me. It was Maya, her voice hesitant. "I heard about her leaving, wanted to check on you," and my heart tightened, the desk a shield. We talked briefly. Her surprise, my silence, the past we shared, her concern a faint echo of our friendship, the neon lights a reminder of distance. I hung up, the journal a witness to my mixed feelings, and sketched, the lines a release, step by step, toward a renewal tempered by memory. The next morning, I jogged, the air crisp with the scent of dawn, the city of rhythm a let go pulsing through my steps, the pavement slick from overnight rain. I passed the park again, felt a stir of peace, the desk a fortress in my mind, the neon glow a beacon. Aileen texted, "Proud of you," and I smiled, the journal filling with dreams, photography, solitude, a life unburdened, step by step toward frames of renewal that painted my future. The morning after my jog with Aileen's text broke with a golden hue, the city air alive with the sweet scent of blooming trees and the gentle hum of traffic to my open window, the curtains swaying in a soft breeze. The narrator, sat at the kitchen table, the wood warm under my palms, the framed skyline photo on the shelf a symbol of my resolve, the journal open beside me a growing testament to my journey. Maya's call lingered, a faint echo of our past, and I felt a surge of resilience, the neon lights outside casting a warm glow, the city a witness to my light breaking through. I sipped coffee, the bitter warmth a ritual that steadied my heart, and wrote, the pen scratch a steady rhythm, step by step, toward a resilience I'd nurture. That afternoon, I prepared for a local photo exhibit. The air in my apartment thick with the scent of developing prints and the soft rustle paper as I sorted my shots, the wooden floor creaking under my steps. I selected images, pigeons in flight, the park's stillness, the neon-lit streets, each print a piece of my healing, the desk a workspace of pride. Aline arrived, her camera in hand, her grin a shield as we reviewed the layout, her feedback a spark, the city lights outside a backdrop. We worked late, the neon glow seeping through, and I wrote in a journal, the pen scratch a release, step by step, toward a light captured in frames. The next day, the exhibit opened, the gallery air buzzed with the scent of wine, and the murmur of guests, the wooden floor echoing with footsteps as I stood among my photos. Aline stayed close, her present a comfort, and we greeted visitors, their nods of validation, the desk of memory of strength. I explained the shot of the skyline, its jagged edges a mirror to my past, and felt a pride I hadn't known, the neon lights filtering through, the city a witness, step by step, toward resilience shared. That evening, I reflected at home, the air soft with the scent of rain, and a quiet on the city outside, the wooden chair creaking under me as I sat. I thought of her, her smile, the lies, the man with sunglasses, and felt no sting, only a quiet acceptance, the desk a refuge. Aline joined me, bringing tea, and we talked about the exhibit, my growth, her support, her eyes warm, the neon lights a gentle glow. I wrote in the journal, the pen scratch of victory, step by step, toward a light that healed old wounds. The next morning I jogged, the air crisp with the scent of dawn, the city a rhythm echo pulsing through my steps, the pavement smooth under my shoes. I passed a gallery, saw my photo in a window, and smiled, the desk a fortress of my mind, the neon glow a beacon. Aline texted, you shone last night, and I felt whole, the journal filling with dreams. Art connection, a life unburdened, step by step, toward resilience that lit my path. The morning after my jog with Aileen's praise broke with gentle warmth. The city air alive with the sweet scent of morning dew and the soft hum of traffic to my open window, the curtains fluttering softly in the breeze. I, the narrator, sat at the kitchen table, the wood smooth under my palms, the framed skyline photo on the shelf of quiet triumph, the journal open beside me a growing chronicle of my journey. The exhibit's success lingered, a balm to my soul, and I felt a thread of trust weaving through my days, the neon lights outside casting a soft glow, the city a witness to my unfolding story. I sipped coffee, the bitter warmth a ritual that anchored me, and wrote, the pen scratch a steady pulse, step by step, toward threads I'd strengthen. That afternoon, I met Aline at her studio, the air thick with the scent of developing chemicals and the rhythmic click of her camera, the wooden floor creaking under our steps as we worked. We reviewed my exhibit photos, her feedback sharpened my eye, and planned a joint project. Cityscapes paired with her portraits, her grin a shield, the desk a shared space. We laughed about the gallery crowd, her widow light, and I felt a deepening bond, the neon glow seeping through, the journal filling with ideas. The evening stretched, the city lights a canvas, and I sketched, the pen scratch a release, step by step, toward threads of trust with her. The next day, a letter arrived, the air in my apartment shifting with the scent of paper and the faint rustle of the envelope, the wooden table a stage for its weight. It was from her handwriting a ghost, apologies, regrets, a plea to talk, and my heart tightened, the desk a barrier. I read it twice, her words a mix of guilt and longing, and felt no rage, Only a quiet resolve, the neon lights a distant hum. I wrote a response, brief and firm. I've moved on, and mailed it, the journal witness to my growth, step by step, toward threads that severed the past. That evening, Aline and I cooked together, the air warm with the scent of garlic and the soft hum of her kitchen radio, the wooden counter a new haven. We chopped vegetables, her laughter comfort, and talked about the project, my letter, her support, her presence a steady anchor. The neon lights twinkled to the window, a promise of connection, and I photographed us, the shudder of victory, the journal filling with dreams. We lingered, the clink of knives a rhythm, step by step, toward threads of trust that bound us closer. The next morning I jogged, the air crisp with the scent of dawn, the city of rhythm will echo pulsing through my steps, the pavement firm under my shoes. I passed her old route, felt a flicker of peace, the desk a fortress in my mind, the neon glow a beacon. Aline texted, "Can't wait for our shoot," and I smiled, the journal filling with plans, art, friendship, a life rebuilt, step by step, toward threads of trust that wove my future. The morning after our cooking session broke with a radiant calm, the city air alive with the sweet scent of blooming gardens and the gentle hum of traffic to my open window, the curtains dancing in a soft breeze. The narrator, sat at the kitchen table, the wood warm under my palms, the framed skyline photo a quiet anchor, the journal open beside me a growing tapestry of my journey. Aileen's laughter from the night before lingered, a thread of trust strengthening, and I felt a surge of courage, the neon lights outside casting a gentle glow, the city a witness to my colors emerging. I sipped coffee, the bitter warmth a ritual that steadied my soul, and wrote, the pen scratched a steady beat, step by step, toward a courage I'd embrace. That afternoon, we launched our joint project, the studio air buzzing with the scent of fresh prints and the rhythmic click of Aileen's camera, the wooden floor creaking under our excited steps. We hung our work, my cityscapes paired with her portraits, each frame a story of resilience, the desk a shared stage. Visitors arrived, their murmurs of validation, and I explained the shot of the neon-lit park, its colors a mirror to my growth, Aileen's smile a shield. The evening stretched, the city lights a backdrop, and I photographed the exhibit, the shutter release, the journal filling with pride, step by step, toward colors of courage displayed. The next day, I reflected at home, the air soft with the scent of rain, and the quiet on the city outside, the wooden chair creaking under me as I sat. I thought of her, her letter, the man, the life we lost, and felt no bitterness, only a quiet strength, the desk a refuge. I reviewed old photos, our early days now distant, and wrote, the pen scratched catharsis, the neon lights a reminder of distance, step by step, toward a courage that redefined my past. That evening, Aline and I celebrated, the air warm with the scent of wine and the soft hum of her balcony breeze, the wooden railing a new haven. We toasted our success, her toast, to your light, a bomb, and talked about the project, my transformation, her belief in me, her gaze lingering. The neon lights twinkled, a promise of intimacy, and I captured her smile, the camera a bridge, the journal witness, step by step, toward colors of courage shared. The next morning I jogged, the air crisp with the scent of dawn, the city of rhythm will echo pulsing through my steps, the pavement steady under my shoes. I passed the studio, saw our exhibit poster, and fell whole, the desk a fortress in my mind, the neon glow a beacon. Aline texted, "You're incredible," and I smiled, the journal filling with dreams, art, love, a life rebuilt, step by step, toward colors of courage that painted my future. The morning after our celebration broke with a radiant peace, the city air alive with the sweet scent of summer blooms and the gentle hum of traffic to my open window, the curtains swaying in a soft breeze. The narrator, sat at the kitchen table, the wood warm under my palms, the framed skyline photo a quiet triumph, the journal open beside me a chronicle of my rise from ashes. Aileen's kiss from a night before lingered, a seal on our bond, and I felt a profound wholeness, the neon lights outside casting a gentle glow, the city a witness to my horizon. I sipped coffee, the bitter warmth a ritual that steadied my heart, and wrote, the pen scratched a steady beat, step by step, toward a wholeness I claim. That afternoon, I revisited the studio, the air buzzing with the scent of fresh prints and the soft click of cameras, the wooden floor creaking under my steps as I admired our project. The gallery buzzed with visitors, their murmurs of validation, and I stood beside Aline, her hand in mine, explaining a cityscape, its colors a mirror to my healing, the desk a memory of strength. We laughed about the turnout, her wit of light, and I felt a pride in our shared creation. The neon lights filtering through, the journal filling with joy, step by step, toward a horizon of togetherness. The next day, I reflected at home, the air soft with the scent of rain, and the quiet hum of the city outside, the wooden chair creaking under me as I sat. I thought of her, her letter, the man, the life we lost, and felt no pain, only a quiet acceptance, the desk a refuge of growth. I burned the traffic photo, its ashes a release, and wrote, the pen scratch a catharsis, the neon lights a distant echo, step by step, toward a wholeness that shed the past. That evening, Aline and I walked the city, the air crisp with the scent of rain, the neon lights a guide through the streets. We talked about our project, our love, our future, her smile a comfort, and I proposed a trip, her yes a promise. At home, I photographed us, the shudder of victory, the journal a witness, step by step, toward a horizon of wholeness. The next morning, I jogged, the rhythm a mantra, let go, passing the old cafe with a smile, the city a horizon of peace. Aline joined me, her camera capturing our joy, and I felt complete, the journal filling with a life my own, art, love, freedom, step by step, toward a wholeness that thrived beyond betrayal.